Scientific measuring tools. Not quite questions you're writing, but you're drawing pictures. Where it says questions, usually you draw a picture. Sometimes I'll give you pictures to cut out and glue and paste, but today you're actually just going to draw the picture that you see here on this video. Let's get started. The first thing you need to write down is balance. Balance is a tool that can be used to measure mass. Balance is a type of scale, but it actually uses the power of gravity and the weight in two sides, or the mass in two sides, to find equivalency. Don't draw this picture, you're going to draw the next one, but this is the one similar to the one I showed you. And the way it works is you put weight on one side that you know, let's say you know that the weight is 10 grams, and then you put the unknown object on the other side, and if it's balanced, then you know that the item you're trying to measure is the same as 10 grams. So it needs some guessing and checking to find out the actual weight. This is the one balance that you're going to draw. So this is a scientific balance that we use, and this is used to find the mass or the weight. Remember, weight just has to do with how much mass it has here on Earth. If it was on the moon, it would have a different weight, but always the same mass. If you're not done drawing, remember you can pause this video or rewind it if you need to. Next thing. The next one is thermometer. Thermometer is a tool that can be used to measure the temperature. In science, we read it in Celsius. So here's a picture you're going to draw. So here's a thermometer. We actually use thermometers in this class, a couple labs, I believe 2 or 3 labs. So it's best to get familiar with them before the lab. One thing you need to know about thermometer is that sometimes they have Celsius and Fahrenheit, because people are used to Fahrenheit here in the United States. But as I said, in science, we use Celsius. What's cool about Celsius is that if you look at 0, if it gets down to 0, that's the point where water freezes. This thermometer doesn't go all the way up to it, but if it gets to 100, that's the point where water boils. So that's very easy numbers to remember. 0 freeze, 100 boil. But if you were trying to remember that in Fahrenheit, it boils at about 40, which is about the equivalent, and that's kind of an odd number to remember. So I want you to draw this, the thermometer, and then I want you to add these words. So remember, if water freezes at 0, and then water boils at 100 Celsius. Go ahead and draw that like I did. The next one is graduated cylinder. A graduated cylinder, graduated means there's different marks in it. And cylinder, of course, it has two circle areas, and then the long part, or height. It's used to measure volume, how much volume in liquid you usually have. It's very useful for liquids. So this is what a graduated cylinder looks like. You can see that it has the different milliliters measurements, because we use a metric system. So milli, of course, is part of the metric system, means a thousandths, and liter is the way we measure liquid. So in this image here that you're drawing, you can see the different measurements there to see how much liquid you have. Very, very useful tool, graduated cylinder. And it's a cylinder again because it has a circle part, and this base is just to hold it. Next one. The last one for today is beaker. Beakers are measuring tools that are used to find volume as well, but they're more useful to move liquid from one place to another. So if you got to move a liquid from one place to another place and maybe another time, you want to use a beaker because it's really good at pouring. So go ahead and draw this image of a beaker here, and you notice that it has milliliters as well. You can use it to measure volume, but then if you need to pour this liquid into another place, it has that spout part, so you can pour it a lot easier. Go ahead and finish drawing this and writing this, and you're going to answer some questions on this video in the next step. Have a good day.